To another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, so it looks like we're back at it with the conflict with Iran in the US. It looks like this week. So from what I can hear, it was a ship that crossed through the Strait of Hormuz and Iran attacked it, and that was in apparently that was in violation of the ceasefire, and the U.S. struck Iran back. I think it struck some. I'm not sure what it with some Iran bases or something like that. I'm not sure. Essentially, Iran struck a ship, and then the U.S. struck Iran back. So it looks like the ceasefire or peace deal or memorandum of understanding has broken, and we're back in the same spot, right? So I don't know how the markets are going to react. Now, there was a post on X that talked about how the U.S. said they were going to strike right after 4 o'clock on Friday, which is when the markets close. So a lot of people were speculating that they were, intentionally manipulating the market because they waited after 4, right? If you're going to announce an attack or whatever the case may be, you just announce it, or you do it when it calls for it. I mean, exactly when it calls for it. Not, oh, let's wait until the stock market closes so that way we don't cause volatility in the market. You shouldn't be considering that when we're talking about war or conflict with another country, right? So that's kind of what everybody's view was. And I agree, right? If you hear about something or if you plan to attack, you just kind of announce it at this point, right? Because we already know there's a conflict. It's not like you need to surprise anybody or it needs to be mysterious. I feel like maybe at the beginning, but now we're at a point where it's like, okay, if you're going to retaliate, you really just do it when you decide to do it, right? So okay, so that's pretty much the main update for the market. I'm not sure how the markets are going to react today. Now, we could get some good news this Sunday. Okay, now if they come out with, oh, we're in talks with Iran or something like that, then it's manipulation, right? Because now you announce something on after 4 o'clock on Friday, so it doesn't affect the market. And then now, as Sunday gets here and we're getting closer to market open, you say, okay, we're close to a peace deal, or we're negotiating things, or we stopped, we're continuing the ceasefire. So if they come out with something like that today, then it's manipulation, right? Because it's just not a coincidence at this point. They've done it multiple times over this last 6 months, so it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a surprise if we hear some good news today, right? So we'll see what happens. Usually we get news if the conflict continues. Usually we get news at 6, or if they come to some type of deal or pause in the attacks, we'll hear it around 6 or 7 o'clock. Usually I get the most up-to-date information from X. So if you don't have an X account, I would suggest you getting an X account. It's almost similar to Instagram in the sense that when you look at a specific type of content, they're going to feed you different type of content. So if you're that type of content, so if you're a person that likes crypto and you're looking at crypto stuff on X, it's going to feed you a whole bunch of crypto stuff that you can get insight and help you make better decisions. So I recommend, if you don't have an X account now, to go get an X account and definitely utilize it when it comes to decision making. Now, I'm not saying use it to make your decisions, but it is a useful tool. All right. Okay, so let's go over the what happened this week in the market. So if we look at stocks, the Dow Jones held up relatively well, supported by defensive sectors like healthcare, financials, and industrials. The S&P pulled back a little bit. The Nasdaq had a much weaker week as investors continue to take profits. Many AI and semiconductor names. Yeah, so I heard that Anthropic and OpenAI are going to push back their IPO. Remember, SpaceX just IPO'd, and it was said that Anthropic and OpenAI would follow right after them or right after SpaceX. And it looks like they're going to be pushing back these IPOs until 2027. So a lot of people on X think this is bullish for crypto because they're like, okay, that capital was set to go to those IPOs. It needs to go somewhere else. Right now, if we look at the market across all asset classes, crypto is probably the one that's most undervalued right now. I mean, we have BTC at 60K, we have Ethereum sitting at like 1600, and then we have altcoins that have just been destroyed pretty much for the last 2 years. How do you use this information? What are you talking about from X? So from X, I don't really use the information to make an investment decision per se. Like I don't go on X and like, okay, I see something and I make an investment decision based off what somebody said on X. I really just use it to gather information. It's just a piece of all the information I use to make a decision. Now you got to see, like you'll see on X, like a lot of the stuff is false. You have a lot of accounts posting things that are not true. So you got to take it with a grain of salt, but a lot of the stuff is true. A lot of the stuff you get, the thing about X, you get a lot of real-time news that you won't get on the daily news or your city news and things like that. How do you know if crypto is undervalued? Well, for me, in my opinion, I see BTC as a multi-trillion-dollar asset. It's been around for since what, 2010? We're in 2026. So it's been 16 years, right? So in my opinion, it's going to stick. It's going to be here. If it's been here for 16 years, and not only has it been here for 16 years, we continue to see institutional adoption. We have now backed ETFs with Bitcoin. So to answer your question, right now BTC is sitting at what? As far as market cap, 1.2 trillion. I think it could be a $10 trillion asset class based off what I just told you. So I just told you that it's been around for 16 years. Most likely it's going to be around for the next 16 years. That's my opinion based off what we've seen in the past, right? And I think that's a good assumption. I'm not saying it's true, but I think that in my perspective, if something's been around for 16 years and it hasn't gone to zero yet, it's a good chance that it has another 16 years, okay? And now in that 16 years, that the first 16 years, what have we seen it done? It's gone from 0 to 126,000. Right now it's sitting at 60,000. So if I think that something has another 16 years, I don't think that it's going to go lower. I think it's going to go higher, right? Especially if it's going to be in the $1 trillion market. So that's how I gauge it being undervalued, right? Is it going to be around here? I mean, forget the next 16 years. Is it going to be around in the next 5 years is the question. And my answer to that is yes. It's going to be around here, be around for the next 5 years. So is it going to go down? I don't think something that's going to be around for the next 5 years is going to go down. I think it's going to go up. And right now it's sitting at 1.2 trillion. I could see it at 5 trillion. I could see it at $10 trillion valuation. So that just means it's going to go higher. So that's how I get that it's undervalued. So yeah, and I think from my perspective, when it comes to determining, everybody has to determine what's undervalued. You have to make that decision. But a good gauge again is do you think something's going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years? If that's a yes, then it may be a good place to put some money in. Not all your money, but you have to make the decision on how much you want to be allocated to that one asset. Now, for me, I think right now the altcoin market provides a lot more upside if you're in the right projects. Again, I'm not going to recommend any projects, but I am looking at the AI/crypto intersection. I think there's some good projects in that space. from my perspective. And then there's some solid L1s. I believe the DeFi area is going to be good as well. I think those took taking a beating. Across the board, all coins have taken a beating. So you just got to do your research and you got to look at what you think is undervalued and what is going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years. That's usually how I make a decision. Okay, so let's continue with the update. Good question. Okay, big themes. AI stocks experienced one of their roughest weeks and months. Money rotated in healthcare, biotech, utilities, financials, some small caps investors. Okay. Altcoins continue to underperform overall. AI and deepened tokens remain volatile, and investors weigh risk appetite. Yeah, like we mentioned. So an update here. The crypto market is still watching on U.S. market structure legislation, including the Clarity Act. So another thing to add to your question, why is crypto undervalued? Well, we haven't even got the Clarity Act yet, right? We haven't got the Clarity Act, and so that's going to be bullish. I don't know if you guys remember when we got the Genius Act in last year, the market went parabolic pretty much. The market went crazy over it. So from my perspective, the crypto market is in need of regulatory guidance. So this Clarity Act, most likely it'll get passed in July, and it'll be really bullish for the markets, crypto markets. What would happen to crypto if countries stopped using the dollar to trade, specifically African countries? What would happen to crypto? I mean, if all of a sudden, like yesterday, it depends. Like if we stop using the dollar, what did they move to? I would assume they probably moved to some type of digital currency. So it would be bullish if countries stop using the dollar as the most dominant currency. So that would be bullish for crypto. If tomorrow they said, okay, everybody's stopping using the dollar, I'm assuming they're moving to something else. So that would be bullish for crypto, really bullish. Which you may start to see. You may start to see some countries say, and there was already some discussions on this, on the fact that the dollar is not becoming the global reserve currency. Now, I think it'll be a while before that happens, but we're already seeing it with BTC. We can easily, if BTC makes it a tens of trillions of dollars, and it's something that's going to be here in the future, then that's probably going to be the standard, right? And the same with gold. I believe the U.S. owns the most gold. There's a time Gaddafi tried to create African backed by gold. Yeah. So, and that's why I was mentioning gold. I believe the U.S. owns the most gold. Let me check that. Let me just fact check. Who owns the most gold? I believe it's the U.S. Yeah. So the U.S. owns the most gold. Germany is second. Italy is third. Fourth is France, and fifth is China. And that's important, right? Because so look what's happening with gold. The U.S. owns the most. So you said, okay, what if the U.S. stops using the dollar? We're most likely going to pivot to something that is scarce, right? So gold. So you see the trend where the U.S. likes to acquire things that have a scarce supply. They're at it with Bitcoin right now. You see institutional people buying Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin on the balance sheet, trying to buy as much Bitcoin. We see somebody like MicroStrategy do that. Although he looks like he's getting he has like 10 months left on his balance sheet to cover dividend payments for BTC. So I could see that one because he owns a lot of BTC, right? I think he owns like close to 1 million coins, which is like what 2 to 3% of the supply. So that's pretty big. So if Bitcoin continues to grow higher and it becomes like a global currency, which it kind of already is, then the U.S. is going to have some incentive to to keep buying BTC, right? They did the same thing for gold. It's not a coincidence that the U.S. has the most gold because, just like you said, if they stop using the dollar, they're probably going to pivot to the next best thing, which is gold, and they own the most. So I don't think the U.S. will be in trouble with that. Now, I feel like if they don't acquire BTC, if they don't pass this Clarity Act and they don't get regulation behind it where companies can start acquiring BTC, then they will be in trouble because now you're going to have somebody else. Although Michael Saylor is in the US, but he owns it. He owns that. So I could see something where if he goes bankrupt and his BTC gets like confiscated or something like that, or he ends up losing it, it could potentially go to, the U.S. can maybe try to acquire it somehow. They already have, I think the U.S. already has like 250,000 BTC. Unfortunately, they killed him for it. Yeah, you're talking about Gaddafi, great African. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's why the creator of Bitcoin, I believe, went anonymous because he didn't want to be known to be the known creator of BTC. I mean, we're already at, like I said, we're already at a $1.2 trillion market valuation. So it doesn't look like BTC is going anywhere anytime soon. And again, whoever owns the most is probably going to be the most dominant person when it comes to a global currency. If we move from anything, if we move from the dollar, it's most likely going to be some type of virtual currency. And in my opinion, BTC would be the next one in line. Like everybody's like, all right, we're just going to adopt BTC, and then everybody's on an even playing field. So that's why I believe the Clarity Act will get passed, because if it doesn't, it's going to put the U.S. behind, and then they're going to have to catch up with all these other countries that are passing regulatory regulation to adopt more crypto in their countries. So yeah, good question. I didn't know they did that to him. I'm not going to use the K word on here because I don't want to get banned or taken down, but it's interesting. It's funny, too, that you mentioned gold because I was in Kentucky and they have Fort Knox. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Fort Knox, but that's where the U.S. holds most of the gold. And it's so like, what is it? It's so fortified. And if you read into it, there's so much security at Fort Knox that, I mean, you would have to, like, nobody can get in it. It's when you see it, it's like a, I don't know, call it a pyramid, but it's like a metal building, almost like a block, right? But in order to get to it, there's so much acres to that, and then there's like fences to actually get to the building. So the Clarity Act is basically an act that gives clarity around cryptocurrency, like what's a security, what's not a security, what you can do with it. So the major thing that was holding up the Clarity Act, and I think they got some resolution around it, was holding cryptocurrency in a crypto exchange like Coinbase and accruing interest. And the banks were saying if they're going to be able to get interest on their crypto just by holding it in their account, they need to become a bank, right? They need to become a bank. They need to apply for a charter and become a bank and go through the whole process. That's what banks were arguing in crypto exchanges like Coinbase were arguing, no, like we are not a bank. These are decentralized assets. They should be able to earn interest in their accounts. So Clarity Act basically gives clarity on what you can actually do for crypto, what you can earn interest on, and I believe, I'm not sure if taxes go into that too, but that could be a part of the bill. but it's literally what the name states: clarity around the crypto industry as far as the assets and what's considered a security, which they kind of deem stuff, Ethereum and Bitcoin not as security. It's more of the interest stuff that the banks and the crypto exchanges are going back and forth on, and they're having trouble coming to a resolution. But it looks like they did. They passed. It's moving to the full Senate to get a vote, and most likely it'll pass. And then from there, it'll go to the president's desk to get signed. And they're looking to do all this by July. All right. And I believe it's going to get passed, because if it doesn't, it's going to get postponed for a while. And like you said, not like you said, there's inflation. It was unfortunate that they did that to Gaddafi. 6 African presidents were in a jet going to media, and they were ordered to go back to NATO. Oh. Yeah, I'm not too familiar on that topic, but I have to read more on it. I'm not too educated on what happened there, but yeah, it makes sense though. Like if he was trying to create some type of central currency, then I can see why. Because people don't like that. People want People want to rule their country with their currency. They don't the government to rule that. They don't want that to let that go outside of the government and just let it be a free for all. So if somebody's trying to do that, then I can see that happening. And then you see the same thing with these cryptos. And again, I go to the point where that's why the creator of BTC is not known. Because I mean, can you imagine somebody created a digital currency and they're in public view and it's valued at 1.2 trillion, and that this is at market lows. It was valued at 2-3 trillion when it was at 126. So I mean, it was the right move. No problem. Yeah, the Clarity Act is very crucial for the crypto market, and most likely I think we'll get it next month. Now, we've been seeing the crypto market kind of take a beating because we are technically in a bear market, but I believe we're at the bottom. We've seen it crash to like 58, 59K, and it keeps bouncing from that area. So it looks like it's found a bottom, and we'll be seeing it consolidate here maybe for the next month or two. And hopefully in that month or two, we see altcoins outperform, make all-time highs, and do their thing. So it's going to be good to whoever's in the right altcoins is going to make a lot of money, because this is not like previous cycles where you can just invest in anything and you're going to make some money. It's going to be who picked the right coin, which coin is generating revenue, and what value proposition does it offer to the market. And in my opinion, a good sector to look at is the AI/crypto sector. There's a lot of good stuff going on in that sector regarding compute, decentralized training, inference, all that stuff. So that's a good space to check out if you guys haven't. All right, so that's pretty much the update of the market. I'm going to start playing some chess. And yeah, let's see what else. So I didn't look. Okay, so remember too, PCE. This is another important thing too. So PCE came out last week, the price consumer expenditure report. Basically, it's the gauge that the Fed uses for inflation. It came in as expected, which is really good. Now, headline PCE includes energy and food, which those things could be volatile. One, because energy is related to oil, and we're having that Iran and U.S. conflict, so that can push things up. That can make things up. So that's why they separate, headline PCE and then core PCE. So core PCE came in as expected. So that's good for inflation. Now, inflation's still going up. Now, the new Fed chair that we got, Kevin Warsh, he's going to be looking to create task force to basically come up with different parameters and different calculations for what is actually inflation or what he considers inflation. And that is going to be, in my opinion, his way to decrease interest rates over the next year or two. And I think he's going to change his tone the next Fed chair meeting. This first Fed chair meeting, he came out, he's like, okay, we're going to create this task force. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. And we'll see. We'll see. But I feel like as we get closer to the end of the year, he's going to change his stance. He's going to be more favor, like he's going to favor cutting rates more towards the end of the year. And remember, that's why the current administration wants to cut interest rates, and they elected him. So I doubt he's going to come in there and hike interest rates. And the fact that PCE and core CPI keeps coming in as expected or a little bit lower, it's going to give him the ammunition he needs to say, hey, inflation's looking good. It's coming down. It's coming in as expected. Let's cut interest rates. So we just got to pay attention to that and see how that goes. All right, so let's play a couple games of chess, and that'll be it for the day. Take the queen, sacrifice the queen, or what? Oh my goodness, I did not even see that checkmate. My goodness. That was crazy. I was not even paying attention to that. That was a terrible checkmate right there. I usually don't fall for those. That was pretty good. And it looks like he set that up too. You can't take any of that. Mm, see what he's doing there. All right, let's do this. Darn it. I got rid of that. It's all good. I think we could still pull one through here. Yeah, I gotta block this, man. Uh, played pretty good there. Nope. He lost that queen. I knew he was gonna lose the queen. I knew it. Let's go. Let's go. See, this is why you don't panic. You can't turn into a panicking. Um, sure. Yeah, we could play one. Darn it. I don't know if. Um, you know what? Let's do this. Darn it. Let's see. Can I do anything here? I just like gotta. Yeah, I'm trying to see. All right, let's see what I got. Yeah, I think I have to. All right, let's see. If I do, I'm trying to see. Yeah, I don't have anything. I'm just gonna have to do the draw. All right, you can send it back. You can send me a request. I was looking to see if I had like a checkmate, but I didn't, unfortunately. All right, this was gonna be my last game, Ogora. So just one, and then I have some stuff I have to do. So NG, you said NG5, Knight G5. Maybe I could have did that. All right, man, you got a high score. Oh, you're doing 5 minutes though. Okay, next time send me a 3 minute because I only do 3 minutes, but that's fine. Man, you're highly rated, so I can't beat you on this one, or you can't lose to me on this one, I should say. Hmm. Oh no. That was a good move. Yeah, basically lost the queen there, I think. Yep. That's game. Yeah, I lost that. Lost this one, bro. Let's do a you want to run it? Let's do a 3 minute. The 5 minutes I'll resign. I lost my queen, dude. I'm not gonna win this one. Yeah, send me a 3 minute one. All right, this would be my last one. If you want to run a 3 minute one, if not, I'll leave. Good game. Yeah, no, that was good. That was a good setup right there. I didn't develop my pieces. All right, let's see. 3 minute game. All right, cool. That was a good game. Good game. So they give you the same rating for 5 minutes. So it's the same. It's pretty much the same. It's interesting. Uh-oh, you disconnected. Connect, connect. I don't want to resign. I don't want to win like this, man. Oh, come on, man. Oh, darn it, bro. I did not want to take your points like that. What happened? I'll give you if you come back, I'll give you like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. If not, I have to log off. I did not want to take your points, man. I wanted to earn them. That sucks. If you want, we can start a game and I can forfeit and give you your points back. Just let me know. If you come on next live stream, I'll give you your points back. We'll start a game and I'll just lose one. That way you get your points back, man. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.